Hello everybody and welcome back to the Burrow. So we are returning to Tarantula Talk. This is episode 3. I'm bringing it back hopefully to do this every so many weeks. If you've never seen Tarantula Talk before, what this is I bring on other YouTubers, 1, 2, sometimes 3 other YouTubers to talk about relevant topics. It could be, like I said, this week is going to be about beginner, intermediate, and advanced keeping. Basically, what tarantulas we think, are that levels, why they are, the difference in keeping them, that kind of thing is what it's going to be today. I want to say welcome to everybody in the chat. I see I already have Cookie Milk, which is a new sub to me. Thank you so much for subbing. Spider Woman, she's already in the chat. Duncan Thomas, oh, welcome to my channel. I don't know if you're a sub or not. Don't recognize the name, but welcome to the stream. Okay, and let's introduce our guest. This is House of Invertebrates is joining us. Go ahead and say welcome.
Hey guys, it's Mad Mags here from House of Invertebrates. I want to thank you for showing up to this channel. I want you to thank the master of the Spider-Verse here from Beginner Burrows for having me. And let's get this show on the road.
Okay, let's remove the cover here, and we will go right into... Okay, so I'm going to skip this right over to the web so that we can see. This is House of Invertebrates channel. The reason we're talking about this is he just did, it was supposed to be a 1-part, but ended up being a 2-part beginner, intermediate, and advanced keeping video. So after the stream, go check that out, guys. His camera, his phone decided it's going to be retarded and cut out at the very end, so he had to do it as a 2-part thing. Well worth looking at, but that's what started this all.
Awesome.
So definitely go say hi to him, sub his channel, all that good stuff. I'm going to go back to this Hangout screen so we can see you. Of course, I'm just using my icon. I never show my face. Okay.
Right on.
I do have some stuff I had sitting here notes-wise. Okay, the first thing I wanted to know, okay, we're talking about beginner, intermediate, and advanced. I want to know, like, what categories, like, when you're placing a tarantula into different categories of beginner, is there any criteria, any categories you look for? I don't want the specifics of why each one, just what they basically are.
Oh yeah, there's always a criteria. And just for quick examples, speed, defense, threat postures, whether they're phosphorial, aeroboreal, terrestrial, or semi-terrestrial, aeroboreal.
Okay, so you actually take into account if they're arboreal, terrestrial, or phosphorial too. That's
oh yeah.
I don't hear that a lot. That's probably something I rarely hear people say that matters.
Well, to me it matters to me. To somebody else it might not, But yeah, I try to pin it down as quick as as much as I can with what I can and do it from there,
Okay. Well, let's stick with that for a second. Terrestrials, I'm gonna assume that's beginner, that's more set to that. What would you put, arboreal and phosphorial? Why would they rank as something different, like?
Well, just off the top of my head, phosphorial, the fact that a lot of them are going to need anywhere between 4 to 8 inches of dirt, depending on the species and genus. And a lot of it's going to need moisture, so not a lot of people are going to want to be dumping water into their tank every day or every few hours just to make sure the humidity stays proper for it, The aeroboreals, some don't want a lot of water, like the avicularia. Avicularies, I noticed you put too much water in there, you can wind up with sudden avicularia death, or I forget what it was. I actually had that happen to me with my male recently. So it's all, moisture, temperatures, aeroboreals seem to be... I only own 2, so I don't have a whole lot really to say upon the aeroboreals, but I do have quite a few terrestrials and some phosphorials. It's usually, moisture, depth, and making sure you have proper size of tank for them.
Okay, I just give my opinion on it too, because I usually, in these things, I give mine too. I agree.
Right on.
Arboreals, I think they barely would any of them would ever make a beginner level. Mostly just because it's harder to deal with them. They go up. They're not
right, and they love to jump.
Yeah, they jump, they go around in circles, they go every way you don't expect them to go, and they can do it easier. It's a little, you have to have some inkling of what you're going to deal with, I think, for them. I'm not going to say you can't have them as a beginner, but then we have
right.
Phosphorial, the reason why I think that they fall squarely in the more advanced category or intermediate is because of just, if you're getting as your first tarantula and it's going to be a hole, you're going to hate the hobby.
Hole.
You're going to get bored with the hobby. You're going to hate the hobby. It's not the same as having it. Like, to us, we know what's in there. We have it. We have it in our collection, and it's still cool. It comes out once in a while. We see some legs. We don't care. Anybody just starting out, it's going to affect them. They're not going to like it. Same with another issue is some of the tarantulas we know, like the fast. It's a problem for a beginner. Things like that have to be taken into account, I think. I'll go over. I'll tell you my criteria. I haven't written right out here. My first criteria for if it's a beginner is how calm it is. Okay, threat posture,
I'll go with that
kind of stuff. Speed.
I'll go with that.
Speed's my other one. Aggression or defensiveness, depending on how you want to say, because I know people get really touchy about the defensiveness, aggressive.
Well, there's a difference between aggressive and offensive. You know, defensive is going to be the one that's skittish, retreats, or throw a threat posture. And an aggressive one's going to come after you. Cobalt blue, something like that. Trust me, I've had my cobalt blue Pol Pot attack me twice. He jumped out of the tank twice at me.
Yeah, that's not defending.
That's aggression. That's aggression.
Doug Thomas says that Burrows tend to be more flighty and fast. I completely agree. It's something you have to
I agree with that, too. But they're so beautiful. They're so beautiful.
Yeah, my other thing is viewable. It's like, as I said, phosphorial. They're not good. Reason I break some things really high as a beginner, because it sits there. It's just a rock. You can see it all the time.
Pet rock, yeah.
Yeah,
I go with that one too. Brachiopelmas, like you say, brachiopelmas, grammostolas, non-dews are fairly good pet rocks. I like to throw the non-dews in between beginner and intermediate due to the fact that you can have them early, but I wouldn't suggest one for your first. You know, like my first non-dew is my third or fourth.
I put in there as a clause of, it's a beginner species, but it's also highly food aggressive, and you have to kind of be ready for them. If you're a little scared of your tarantulas in any way, that's not a beginner for you. That kind of like puts that off of that. That's the problem that I have with them. So now that we kind of have establishment of what each one is. So as we go through some of this, we can talk about why each one is under each category. That's kind of why I want to hit on this. My other question is, do you think people just starting out should be restricted by what people call, air quotes, beginner species? Like,
do I feel people should be restricted? No. I stated this in the video. If you're comfortable, go with it. But don't go with it just because I say, oh, you're comfortable, I'll go with it. If you really are 100% comfortable looking at it, holding it, and if it takes off running in the tank and you don't go, oh my God, while you're holding the little tub you pick it up in, more than likely you'll be fine. And if you just open the small trap door, if you have the plastic critter keepers, if you have a 5-gallon glass, slide it back just a bit and drop it in there and watch and have fun. Restrictions, I don't feel like restrictions are necessary unless you're somebody who and prods and tries to hurt, then you should be restricted. But
I know that's one of the big gatekeeper issues that people like to be big gatekeepers on this. They tell you go to a group, a Facebook group, whatever you post, I got this, you're a beginner, you shouldn't have that, blah 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 blah. Shut up. I'm not gonna swear.
If you're comfortable, I've seen that post a lot actually. I've seen that. Well, I got this cobalt blue. My first question is, how is she? How does she act? Or how does he act? Yeah. And then usually a conversation starts up with it. I'm just like, well, if you're comfortable, I hope you enjoy it. And I like to see it later on one of your videos. Yeah, gatekeeping, you know what? If you want to gatekeep. But don't expect people to take you seriously.
It's one of my biggest pet peeves with this hobby is gatekeeping, and that's one of the things I bring up. I'm always curious, and anybody I talk to is like, do you do that kind of stuff? And if you do, why do you do that? Yeah, I'm always curious as to what's your opinion as to why, like, oh, I should tell that person he shouldn't have that. Why?
Right, why? Because you don't like the idea of him having it? That's the single person. That's the person who's stating that statement. That's their problem because they don't like something. They probably don't have it. Or if they did, they don't know more. So jealousy arises, and jealousy is a really ugly thing on human beings.
Oh, yeah, it definitely is. Let me look at the chat real quick here. Spider-Woman says, phosphorial, She can't spell it. I don't believe you. I couldn't either.
No worries.
Tend to also be more old worlds, which they do. Although my Asamani decide it's a pet hole, and it's never coming out of its hole again, and I'm never going to see it again. So,
my Asamani loves to dig as well. I just don't have it in a deep enough container to accommodate her, 5-6 inches of digging. But she's still juvenile here. She's still juvenile, so what I have her in is fine because she still continues to love to move her stuff around. I have a hide in there for her to go in and out. And when she molts, hopefully within the next few months, because she's been in a pre-molt for months, so hopefully I'll be able to get her into like a 3.5 or a 5 gallon and just give her go nuts, because I love Phosphorios. Phosphorios are some of my favorite Webbers and Phosphorios because I love the tunnels they make. Love them.
Okay, we actually got a good thing in the chat here. I'm going to go over both of these real quick, and then we'll comment on them. Small Town Exotics is in here, which you are a mod in here. I did not know I gave you mods. So, anyways, we started collecting last March with a GBB, and 2 weeks later we had 2 Pokies, and we have an Ornata, two BTs. I can't see the other one. Okay, that's his. Spider-Woman says, I didn't get an old world until 2 years into the hobby. I'm kind of curious what...
My thought upon getting old worlds.
Yeah. Well, and the difference here, like it took her 2 years. It took him like 2 weeks. Like,
well, he was comfortable with what he picked up. She was comfortable with what she has. Hi, Spider Woman. Hi, Small Town. Don't won't forget to say hi. My first tarantula, I picked up my first tarantula, Mishiva, the Brachypelma albopilosum hobby form. And I didn't buy a second tarantula for a whole year.
Wow.
So it's all up to you. Like, don't let people tell you don't get this and don't get that. But take the advice of, this is a good one. You might want to stay away from the Chilobrachys cancrachan, or go ahead and pick up an Avicularia or a Carabina versicolor. But like I said, I don't like to tell people what to get, what to do, or anything like that. The whole idea of span time, that just gives you more time to do research, to understand humidity, depth of substrate. If it's not, phosphorio, it's a terrestrial. Same with that, because some of them still like to dig. I have a few terrestrials that love to dig still. It's just, I see it as time for research. If you run and pick up a Grammostola, then a Brachypelma, then a non-dew, and then a Pokey, well, obviously you've already done your research, or you watch plenty of other people's videos, so you know. I got a person over here telling me something. Whatever. Apologize, gentlemen, ladies. I just see it as span time for research. Getting your bearings together. That way you know what you're picking up or getting into.
Yeah. Okay, Swatan Exotic says, we love you, Mad Mags, and I 100% agree.
Love you too.
He says, Killer Brocs are fun. I completely agree with that too. I wanted to comment
I love them.
because first I want to say is the fact that Small Town Exotics would have got an old world in 2 weeks, and Spider-Man got one in 2 years. There's nothing wrong with that.
Nope. Nothing at all. Nothing wrong with that. You were comfortable with getting it right away, and Spider-Woman was comfortable taking her time with it. Like I said, watching these videos, talking with other hobbyists will get you in a mindset to go pick one up. When I picked up my Cobalt Blue, I thought I was ready for it. I wasn't ready. That was even a year and what was it? January, February, March, April. Year and 4 months when before I picked up my first, and I was not ready for it. I wasn't ready for the speed. I wasn't ready for the strength. I wasn't ready for the aggression. I also didn't take my time to learn about that particular genus or species. So like I said, whether you wait a week or a day or a year or two, it's just giving you more time to do more research to make you comfortable with what you're going to pick up.
Yeah, I don't think... My big thing is I don't think anybody should criticize either of them because you take the time you need to feel comfortable. If it's 2 years, I'm not going to make fun of you. I have my old world within 2 weeks or whatever. You shouldn't do that, and you shouldn't go, you got it in 2 weeks, that's wrong. You should have waited at least a year. it's not like
Yeah,
that.
it's like I said, it's comfort. Everything is comfort. Are you comfortable buying a gun? Are you comfortable buying a truck? Are you comfortable buying a motorcycle?
Yeah.
Are you comfortable buying an Anaconda? Or are you comfortable buying a Kilobrachys species Vietnam Blue? Are you comfortable? And if you can honestly say, yeah, I actually feel very comfortable, go pick one up inside of a tank. Don't go run over and open the tank and grab it. Just pick the little tub up. And a lot of the time, a lot of your old worlds are going to bolt. And you'll feel it. You'll hear it. And I still, occasionally, I get a little creeped out hearing those legs go do-do-do-do-do across plastic. My non-do Colorado Velocis, she does kind of give me a little fright. Only because she moves so quick for how big she is and the noise she makes. Other than that, she's gorgeous. That gorgeous strawberry blonde, but it's kind of fading because she's getting fat.
Okay, we have some people I want to say hello to. We have Lori Walker just joined. Hello to
Hi, Lori.
chat. Athena Ascending, my friend, just joined the chat.
Hi.
You know, Twisted Tarantulas also joined.
Twisted!
Yeah, James Dean, we are going to get into specific kind of tarantulas later. We'll answer those questions as we go. Because he just asked about one of them, and I don't want to get into each one like individually right now.
No, just yet. We'll write it down so you don't forget.
It's the blue fang, so okay.
Oh, oof, beautiful.
Yeah, it is. Before I want to get through some questions before we start going into each branch and talking about different tarantulas for each one. When you're deciding when to move on, say you were in a beginner, you feel you're a beginner, and you're thinking I want to move to something advanced, or you say you're advanced and you're intermediate and you want to move to advanced. What are the things you... we've probably already covered this, but this is a question I have. What is it that you would want to consider before you move on to an intermediate tarantula or an advanced tarantula?
Comfort level.
Yes.
And research.
That's it for me too. Comfort level is such a big... That's the biggest thing.
And research is also my actual biggest thing. Like I said, I spent a year with one tea, but before I picked up that tea, I spent the whole year just learning about certain genuses and species, mainly the Brachypelmas, because I don't know what it is, but I love the Brachypelma genus. They are all gorgeous in their own ways.
That's such a boring genus. Like, it's just for beginners.
That's fine, because I love them all. I'd rather be boring than bit.
I just, it's what I hear all the time. That's a boring one. Who wants Brachypelmas or Grammostolas? I want Pokies. There's nothing wrong with liking the New World terrestrials. No. They're beautiful. They're big tarantulas. I love all of them.
There's nothing wrong with disliking them either. You know what I mean? I personally am not a huge fan of Poecilotheria, but it has nothing to do with the way they look, nothing to do with their attitude. It's all my comfort level. I personally am not ready for a Poecilotheria. I see everybody's Pokies. A lot of them are really chill, but those ones that are not chill, those are the ones that get me going. I'm just like, oh god, that's fast, and I don't want to lose that spider anywhere in any house. You know, especially if you have an unfinished room, you really don't want to lose that there.
Yeah, it's just something I've noticed that people say it and then they like criticize other people. Oh, that's boring. I don't want to see that. You know, I want to see this and that. It's like everything.
Don't watch the video.
Yeah, don't watch the video. Everything's interesting. Don't criticize people what they like. It's dumb.
Right. Yeah.
I like, you know, if you like just the ugly brown New World terrestrials, that's what you like. Cool. They're all cool to me. They all have their personalities. So.
Yeah, some of them, just big brown ones, are really gorgeous. Some of them really are. You know, it's better when they're larger. When they're smaller slings, that's when the lack of beauty on a lot of them are. Now there's some that are unbelievable gems.
Yeah, my
as slings, but
Manensis is beautiful. It's like it's one of those rare ones.
That's on my list. So is the oh god. I'm probably gonna butcher the Ophionesis philippinus, the Philippine tangerine.
Yeah, I'm horrible.
That one's. I'm learning them. There's some of them I really love to say, like guanziensis. I love that one. I love to say that word, guanziensis. Say it with me. Guanziensis. There you go.
No, I don't have a problem with the cipher names. I just like some of them are just like, oh my god, like how to say.
Well, you gotta learn. It's Latin. It's Greek. It's also Mandarin. you know. So you know, it's not easy for everybody. It's not,
also,
you know.
It's also a whole topic on its own, so let's not get too off into that. I could go off into scientific names. Everybody knows that I have a whole. Anyway, so on the same topic, like I said, I want to get my opinion on when do you feel ready to move from beginner to intermediate to advanced. Comfort level, I agree with completely. Do you feel comfortable with it? If you're not comfortable with it, you can't rehouse it. You can't give it proper care. You have to be comfortable. Research. Know what you're getting into. And I feel like I've seen people say you cannot do research off like watching YouTube videos. Don't watch them. You can't actually get any experience off that. I'm like, yes, you can. I've seen.
Yeah, you can.
I've learned multiple ways to rehouse. Multiple ways that are much safer to rehouse. I've learned from that. That's experience. It's not hands-on experience, but it's something I can put towards my hobby.
Right.
I've seen
pick that first species up, that way you're comfortable, you know, that pet rock, you know, transfer it once, you know, after you pick it up, transfer it in a new tank, 1 year later, transfer it again.
I've also seen pokies go flying out and be on somebody's arm in 2 seconds, so I now understand, you know, the speed of what I'm dealing with, and I respect it. Like, you know these things, you have experience, but you can see, okay, that can happen, I have to be aware.
I wish I would have got my cobalt blue attacking me on video, because that would be a perfect tell-all for those who want to get a old world because they're gorgeous, but don't really know what they're getting into. That would have been a beautiful thing, because it literally shot out of the container, flew past my head and landed on the wall behind me, and then shot from the wall back to my head and landed on my roach tank.
That's insane. The amazing flying spiders. That's
right,
insane.
And that there shows you also that each tarantula itself individually has a different characteristic, because somebody else's cobalt is a sweetheart.
Yeah.
And I got stuck with Genghis frickin' Khan over here, you know.
So let me see some of the chat here. Let's catch up with the chat here. So, shoot, I like jumping spiders and wolf spiders. When I come across them, I love them all. They're all different from the others. Okay. That's from Lori Walker. I'm not sure. I think I know who Lori Walker is, but I don't think she has tarantulas right now.
That's no big deal.
It's not a big deal. No, I welcome everybody who wants to come and learn and see this stuff.
Exactly.
Small-Time Exotics wants, because he's going to do this with me eventually. He wants it to be scientific names. I don't think he's up for that with me. Let's see what's in here. I like flying spiders. I'm not... Okay, here's Twisted Tarantulas. I am not at all ready for an AVIC or Pokey. I'm so scared of their speed and teleporting abilities. Okay, I can tell you one thing. AVICs don't really teleport. They just are too relaxed. They can. They're just... They can. Even if they do, they don't do anything.
Both of mine have. My male was pretty fast, and I don't know if the one I have right now is a female or male, but this one loves to jump. The thing is when they're small slings and juveniles, they will jump a lot. Yeah. When they get larger, when you get your, full-grown specimens, mature specimens, that's where you're getting that lazy avicularia. But that juvenile to subadult, oh yeah, they'll go. They'll bolt. They will bolt.
They will, but you're also talking about something that the chance of it biting you before it shoots poop at you is
you're going to get pooped on first.
Yeah. They don't really... It's pretty hard to get a bite. I got one on me, and, it just startled me, and I kind of, tossed it, and it still didn't bite me, so... And luckily it was safe. But Spiderwoman puts up a good question, because she's asking this. Does anyone else buy because of colors?
I do.
I do, but I also do my research first. Don't come into this hobby going, I want the pretty blue and yellow one that climbs... And, don't... Do your research first.
So you want that Poecilotheria metallica.
Yeah.
Now, I would say if you're ready for a Poecilotheria, since I personally don't have one, but I've asked a few people, what's a good first pokey when you're ready for it? And I've always been told it's actually the Poecilotheria metallica. As long as it's not named James Hetfield or Lars. No, that's a Metallica joke.
Yeah, I get it.
But I was always told that was a pretty good starter, Poecilotheria, or Pokey, or Poecilotheria, however you say it, because it's hard for a lot of people, and I have a slight southern slur, slight northern slur, whatever you feel like calling it. I have an odd accent.
It was Poecilotheria for a very long time, and then they decided it was not called that. It's actually called Poecilotheria, and now everybody's debating on how you say it, the word, because I love scientific names.
How comfortable are you on saying Poecilotheria or Poecilotheria? You know, it's your comfort level, in my opinion. We all know what you're talking about.
We know what you're talking about. It's
right.
Anybody? That's why I tell people at the beginning, just try saying it, and we'll finally figure out what you're talking about. We usually can. Okay, before we start getting into specific ones for each thing, the last thing, because you brought this up, and I kind of agree with you, and I want to talk about it on here, is slings. What do you consider a sling? Because a lot of people say to start with a sling, and I've seen your opinion isn't the same as everyone else, so I want to hear what your opinion is on it.
When I was starting, I wasn't ready to deal with the fruit flies. I wasn't ready to deal with that spider that's, literally smaller than my thumbnail or the size of my pinky nail or something like that. I wasn't ready for that small factor. On top of it, I'm heavy-handed. I've had to cup a few of my spiders. To cup and crush one of them, I would be so pissed off. So I was not ready for that. Then the humidity factor, like I said, the feeding factor kind of got on my nerves because I had to deal with those little fruit flies, and all they do is bounce everywhere. And then you freeze them or chill them or cool them, and then you got to wait. But it's the small factor is what it was for me. If you feel very comfortable with that small of a species and you have no problem dealing with the fruit flies, awesome. Perfect. Do videos because I'd love to watch it.
Okay, I agree with you. I think slings, all of them fall under intermediate. Nobody should start with a sling. Because of many things you said. Unlike most juveniles and adults, where temperature, everybody talks about temperature. Temperature doesn't particularly matter. House temperature is fine for all of them. I know one of the breeders here in Michigan has a basement with like 1,000 tarantulas. Done it for years and years, and they're like 65 degrees in the winter. And he goes, "Okay, never an issue. Never an issue."
I right now have mine about 70, 72, and then summertime I'll kick it up to 75 to 80.
Well, whatever I don't run air conditioning in the room. I usually have my tarantulas, so it's whatever it is in the summer here is fine for all of them. And throughout the winter, they can go down there. They can deal with the very temperature. Humidity is a little bit harder, but with slings, temperature kind of matters. They are way more fragile. Temperature kind of matters. Humidity matters. There's a water bowl, so if you're just starting, you don't understand how to water them without a water bowl. That kind of thing. How do you feed them? Like you said, I refuse fruit flies. I will pre-kill something. I will grip a leg of a cricket and toss it in before I deal with fruit flies. I'll tell you that. And they will eat a leg of a cricket. They have never had a problem with it. Hey, Sarah Tyndall is here. We have one of the Tyndalls.
Welcome. Hey, Sarah. How you doing? Thank you for coming. I still want to thank everybody for showing up. Those that were waiting before we even started, thanks for waiting.
Okay, Twisted Tarantulas asked a question, and it falls into this. I'm new to the hobby with only 4 slings, which, you're starting with something we don't suggest, but yeah, that's fine. Maybe this is a stupid question, but how do you know when a male and a female have matured out? Okay, I'm not very good with this question. I know how you tell males most of the time, but not females.
The males is symboli, or the boxing gloves on the pedipalps, and the tribal hooks on the front, which will be pretty much like there on the front too, next to the pedipalps. Some have them, some don't. Some are really small. You don't realize it's a male. The females, those are actually more harder ones, but for like a mature breeding. I was always told looking at the abdomen being larger than normal. So, like, you feed it to a certain size, they'll stop eating. Well, they're a little bit bigger. They look more like a golf ball without the indents. They're more, bubbles out because of the eggs inside of her abdomen.
If we know if it's a female, it's at about the same size. Like, the size that species gets. If you did research, when they get to that size, it's a female's probably ready. Because they can actually start having babies smaller. Like, I've seen some very small female tarantulas have an egg sac. They should be much bigger, but they will produce less. Males, you know, the biggest tell that everyone has is the pedipalps have the bulbs at the end. They look like punching gloves. That's the easiest way. Some have the hooks, some don't. So it's not a reliable way unless you know the species and you know to look or not look for that.
Right. And then the true way is just grabbing the molt and opening the molt abdomen and checking between the box lungs toward the set of box lungs that are closest to the carapace.
Well, he wants to know how they mature, not if they're male or female. So
old worlds mature a lot quicker than new worlds. Males will mature. New world, old world doesn't matter. They'll mature a lot faster than the females. I believe I might have one close to mature out of all the ones I have that's female. The rest of them are, you kind of tell by size, and if the colors after molts are super beautiful, and after like a feet or two, it starts dying out. You're probably getting a little older. A lot of mine seem to, even after like 2 feet, they still have really good color to them.
There's a lot of differences. Some will do that, some won't. The best way I've seen is to know it's a male by checking the molts, you'll know. And then, as far as I know, every species gets the boxing gloves. That's usually the best way. There's other ways you could tell. Males are usually have the longer legs. When they mature out, one of the things to look for is you see one that usually is in a hole or is active, and he's walking around a whole lot. That's usually check to see if it's mature. That kind of stuff.
Searching for some tarantula booty is what he's doing. So he's ready.
But you should.
He's like, I'm ready to spread my seed and make some babies and carry on with the rest of my life.
Okay. Okay. Well, I think we should start getting into what we think are, because we got about half an hour left, a little left. So I keep these all to an hour. So let's go over some of the tarantulas you think are. Let's start with the beginner. So you said not slings, obviously. What do you think are some of the best? I'm gonna switch over to this view so I can do some. So I can show some images of what.
Well, good beginners, like I say, Brachypelma, good genus. Grandmastol is really good genus.
Okay, so let me look this up here.
I personally don't throw like a Brachypelma epicurinum or a Bomai in there, but like a Hamorai, an Alba Pelosum, an Emilie, you know, those in my eyes are really good beginners. My Bomai loves to kick. My Epicurinum loves to give me abdomen threat posture, which is where they just spin real quick and shove their butt in your face. My Epicurinum loves to do that. So I don't suggest any, you know, tarantula that loves to kick hairs as soon as you touch it as a beginner, because you don't want to get it in your nose, your mouth, your skin. I've had a few itchy factors, but it's not that bad for me, so.
I have no real issue with the hairs. So I'll bring up first of all is a Brachypelma smithi or Hamorai. There's a very good one. That's probably the staple anymore of the beginner one.
It's on our Bible, ladies and gentlemen. You go pick up that Tarantula Keeper's book. That's Tarantula Bible, and that one's right on front.
Then we have what's another one you were saying? Sorry, I was looking that up when you were going over all of them.
The Alba Pelosum is a really good one. That's one of the few New World phosphorials, actually. Yeah, unless you go with the Ephebopus moranus.
Yep, I agree. A lot of people like the curly hair. The one thing I like about the curly hair too is a factor we didn't really talk about is availability for a beginner. They're very, very easy to get a curly hair. They're very cheap. They're easy to get. They are bulletproof. They're really hard to kill these things and screw up.
I can vouch for that. Meshiva has been the best. If I didn't have Meshiva, I probably wouldn't even be here talking to everybody. She was just super good with rehousing, super good with my mess ups, and I actually had to poke and prod her just to get her to do a threat posture, and that took about 5 minutes.
Here is another one from Sarah Tyndall. Once again, Brachypelma vagans. This is a beautiful tarantula. The black with the red, beautiful. Extremely easy to use. Once again, bulletproof.
Yeah, I'd say pretty bulletproof too.
Yep, terrestrial, calm demeanor usually. Not always, usually. And viewable, that stays out. Unlike the curly hair, which, you know, can dig and hide, these kind of stay out.
Yeah, my Vagans loves to stay out, but my Vagans is very mobile. So he or she nibbler, you kind of got to be careful. And she, oh God, I'm going to state this. Every Brachiopelma vagans I've seen so far in videos, plus mine, have been very heavy hitters on feeding.
That's good. Yeah.
And a lot.
I love that because it keeps people in the hobby, it keeps them interested. So that's always fun. The feeding's a big deal. So anybody out there? Okay, G. rosea for a beginner. Let me look at the G. rosea.
The only thing I have about those that I would throw them just past beginners due to the fact that they love to fast. They will fast at any size, it seems like, because I've heard a few people talk about how their G. rosea sling isn't eating for a month or two. Adult G. roseas could go a year, almost 2 years without feeding, and it throws people off because he won't eat. I don't like this. He's not eating. Do I, pre-kill it? Just once a week, drop a cricket in there. If the cricket's still in there 24 hours later, take it out. Wait another week to drop another one. Or you can go the 2 week span because more than likely it's just fasting because it doesn't like the weight it's at.
I have to agree. I would put G. rosea easily inside of the beginner species, except for the fact of the fast. You really have to, if you're getting into it once you need to do the research anyways. But they are bulletproof. They are hard to kill. They used to be extremely easy to get. They're harder to get now for some reason.
Yeah, it took me about 5 years to find one.
And I have a Pateri. I mean, I Pateri rosea. They're almost the same species. Like, some people think they are. They're just named wrong still. They're just red faced. We can argue that forever.
I'm not too sure on that one. I mean, if you can show that a Pateri and a rosea are exactly the same, just different forms, that's cool. Prove it, please, because it'll help me out even more with my information.
It's one of the things that you get the rumors and stuff that they're starting to get into that research, because they're really researching everything right now. But so right now they're different though. But either one of them, they're bulletproof. Hey, Edward Tyndall's now in the chat. Welcome to the chat.
Oh God, Edward's here. Hi Ed, how you doing? The Tyndall experience is on.
Oh yeah, we got both of them in here. That's awesome. So the big thing I liked about the rosea is they are large. Okay.
Yes.
And they are the pet rock. Mine just sits out forever, crawls around, has no interest even in the hide at all, and it's just this big beautiful tree. When it eats, it's cool. It's really good for a beginner that way. So docile, so easy to move from something else. Mine isn't docile enough to pick up and handle. I can tell you that, like most people think. But I don't believe in handling particularly. So if I tell anybody, if you're looking at a tarantula, I'm like, I don't give you that handling factor, because each tarantula is its own thing. So if I say, oh yeah, G. roseas are really easy to handle, and you get the devil, and then you get bit, it's not. That's not a factor to me. If
I say handle at your own risk. If you're comfortable to handle it, handle at your own risk. I personally don't handle mine unless they crawl out into my hand. That is the only way I handle them. Other than that, I'm not going to go reaching in there because that's his house, man. Don't be reaching into people's homes.
I'm not going to say I'm anti-handling. If you want to handle, it's fine. Do it responsibly.
Yeah, I'm not anti-handling either.
Do it. I won't handle because I choose not to, but do it safely. Don't hold it high in the air, that kind of stuff. I don't want to get into handling right now, but do it safely, do it correctly, and it's fine.
I want you to be safe and enjoy the hobby, so handle at your own risk.
Definitely handle at your own risk. So, chat, anybody, what do you feel is also a beginner tarantula? Guys, go ahead and shout them out for a second. We will throw them up on the screen if you got any that you feel are really good for beginners. What else can we throw up there for a beginner? I'm trying to think. Brachiopelma, the whole list is great. Oh, my favorite one.
I mean, I guess you could throw Phonopelmas in there. They take so long to grow is all, really, in my opinion. Although my Chalcodes is kind of a butthole. I do believe I have a female a Phonopelma Chalcodes, Edward.
Okay. Grabostola pulchra is, once again, it's a Grabostola. It is giant black. It is awesome looking tarantula. It's only thing that I say is a hard time saying it's a beginner tarantula is the cost. It's like $100 for a sling. They're one of the most wanted tarantulas, but they're also known as the Labrador of the thing. They're really docile. They sit out. Yep. They're mine comes out, sits out, walks around. Never an issue. It's a great beginner except for the price. There's always these little catches that you gotta realize. Okay, Grabostola poker piece. Wow, how did I not talk about that one?
Oh, I love that one. That one is actually my favorite Grammostola species. Fizzgig is mine, and man, always out, always hanging out, just is gorgeous. The well, I guess it's gray, kind of grayish hairs. It just looks so great, and then you got the golden knees, and then it has the the Grammostola sheen on the abdomen. With a lot of Grammostolas have that sheen on the abdomen. Just gorgeous.
Oh, that little reflective patch? Yeah, that's cool.
Yes, I love that. I love that. They're gorgeous.
Edward.
Little alien. I will say it's an alien species to me. It was different because it would love to hide underneath. Because I picked mine up, small sling, and it loved to hide underneath leaves and make little tarantula pita pockets. It was awesome.
Edward here. What's up, everybody? I have been sick for the last week, so I've not been on doing videos lately. But off cam, I'm feeling the hell out of the retics. Okay, cool, man. Hopefully you start feeling better, because that's
right. You gotta get back into videos, Ed. We're missing you. We're missing you. We need the Tyndall experience. I need it.
Okay, here's one. This is what I actually really want to get, but I don't know if you would put it as a beginner species, and I'll talk about why. David Pedalorus.
Oh, God.
Would you put that as a beginner? I would not. I would put that as intermediate.
I would say for me, it's between beginner and intermediate. I actually have mine. Super fast, gorgeous. Mine's not a great eater. I put it between the beginner and intermediate because of the speed. It is fast.
Yep. All the dwarf species to me hit intermediate because of speed. They are smaller, they're more fragile, they're fast. They may be calm, like I know David Pedalorus is supposed to be pretty calm. But
very agile too.
Yeah,
very agile.
Small. I don't like small ones for beginners. I think it's a great tarantula. I really want one. I gotta get one of these. I love the dwarves.
I suggest when you get into it, when you get into your species, whether you're beginner or advanced or intermediate keeper, dwarf species are awesome. Sericosmus, I loved that one. I had the Trinidad tiger, the Sericosmus elegans. I miss Willow so much. He was awesome. I have the Neoholothelienses right now. They are, oh my God, awesome, but so lightning fast.
Okay, here's what we haven't talked about. It doesn't come up enough. I don't remember its stupid scientific name. I thought of Palma calcodes. There we go. I always forget it. The Arizona Blondie is how I know it. That is what comes up all the time for a beginner.
Like I said, mine's kind of a butthole.
Yours is.
So I wouldn't. Yeah. But each tarantula is different. Every individual tarantula is different. Like I got the butthole calcodes. I had the Genghis Khan of the Cobalt Blues. So they're all different. They're all different in that way. But hey, if you're comfortable with the calcodes, jump on it. I personally would jump on the Samani.
Hey, Samani is another one.
Yep.
I'm not sure that's the
Phonopelma Samanis are great. They got the black form. I believe they got a black form and a blue form. Mine always looks blue after molts and turns this weird tannish gray color when it's.
Yeah. Sorry.
Oh yeah, that's it.
The zebra, the Costa Rican zebra tarantula, the Phonopelma Samani. My problem with mine is he likes to just. It's in a hole. It's a pet hole. It doesn't come out.
Yeah.
But it's a
that's the new world pet holes for people. That the Ephobophus murinus.
I see it a lot as a beginner. I don't really like it as a beginner. It's not a problem to have it. It's just realize you're not gonna see it. If you're okay with that, that's fine. Mm-hmm. It seems pretty. Mine's also not very docile. It's a little high strung. So.
Yeah. See, mine's fairly docile actually.
Yeah. See.
So.
Mine's
what I mean?
Now, okay, I want to talk about the pig toe as a beginner. I will place it as a beginner as the catch of it is the arboreal beginner. If you feel you're ready for an arboreal, start with this and learn. So you understand what you're doing, because there's like a whole new thing dealing with the arboreals. They are kind of like how to rehouse, how to get them out, how to manipulate them is their own little thing.
Yeah, they're interesting. Aeroboreals are very interesting, especially the avicularia. I honestly didn't have many problems rehousing mine. I didn't use the cup method. I just kind of tilted the cup and set it across the top of the tank and let them just walk right in. They are pretty calm. But smaller they are, they do like to jump, and their defense mechanism is shooting poop at you.
So I were saying that like almost all of his don't burrow, only 7 burrowed. I don't know. Mine burrowed. It just went away. I haven't seen it in like 2 months. Like I don't know. That's my luck, you know. But then again, everything's different.
I like the Samanis. They're nice. They're different.
So yeah, but if you're gonna go and you're gonna start off with a boreal and you want to get a feel for it, start with the pink toe. They're extremely cheap. They're beautiful. They will give you the experience you need. Or a Versicolor if you want to spend the extra money. They're about the same.
Yeah, they're about the same. Maybe a little bit more for the Versicolor. With the avicularies, you got to watch out for that sudden death syndrome they have. The aviculary sudden death syndrome. Like I said, mine had that out of nowhere. I mean, he just turned male, and a few months later, he was just hanging by one leg, dying, just dead. I checked him the day before. I checked him that day, and I came back a couple hours later, and boom, he just went away. They're not really big into a lot of water. I just keep a Gatorade cap inside my container, fill that up, and we'll spritz it once a week. You know, not every other week, but once every week and a half, something like that. You know.
In the winter, I do mine twice a week. In the summer, I go once a week, just because the house dries out so much more. But yeah, I just spray it down. I have some moss. I spray that, it gets damp, and I have the cap in there. And they'll drink out of it. I have mine with just a Coke bottle cap, and I've seen them like their head just in there, drinking. They don't care.
Yep. Oh yeah, they I love to watch them drink. It's so crazy.
Okay, let's get into let's jump from beginner, start to talk about some intermediates. Like you said, there's some stuff that you think is more in the middle. What do you think is like kind of in the? I like to go hard lines. Okay, this is beginner, this is intermediate. You got some stuff in the middle there. What do you think is in the middle?
Between beginner and intermediate?
Yeah, what do you think is in the middle there, and why?
I say Salmopoeus. Most Salmopoeus species, I'd say between beginner and intermediate. I have the Cambridge, I have the Arminium. My Arminium's a little more skittish and freakish, which loves to run around the tank. My Cambridge loves to just come out and hang out. You know what I mean?
I had that, my original one too. It just sat out. My Arminia Heights. But Arminias are one of my favorites, and mine died. I have to get one.
I'm more of a Cambridge fan. I love the Cambridge or Cambridges.
Yeah, whichever one you call it. They got the
right.
Those. I put them hardly inside intermediate. I go Avix, I go the Salmopoeus for intermediates, and I go Pokies for advanced, and that's like how I break them up. Like the Boreals have their own little settings. Like if you want to go one or the other, that's kind of how it works. I mean, there's some more Boreals in there, but those are like the big groups. Avix, Salmopoeus, Pokies. That's kind of how it goes.
I can go with that. I agree with that. I don't see that's a big deal or nothing like that. And like I said, I'm more comfortable with the Salmopoeus Cambridgei being closer to a beginner than an intermediate. It's just my comfort level with them. You know, I spend more time watching them than doing much. Oh, this charger won't stay in. But the Arminium, it hides a lot, but it is so fast when you scare it. So fast, and that's why I throw that one in between beginner, but closer to intermediate due to the speed it will have, and it doesn't like to come out.
So I put them in there for the same way you said. It's much faster, much more skittish. Its Vena potency is a little higher supposedly, but it's not a huge difference between it and an Avic. It's just like the jump because it's a little scarier to deal with sometimes.
Yeah.
But then again, to me, all the Avics, other than the speed difference, you're just dealing with speed all the way through. It's just, this is fast, this is faster, this teleports. That's your difference.
Right, the H-Maculata, teleport.
Yeah, H-Max, they're hard in the advance. I want to get one of those. My Featherlake Baboon, which is, what is that? I can't remember the name of that one.
Ooh.
A Calciatum.
I think so. The Calciatum.
Yeah, those guys are advanced. But yeah, it's usually the 3. What else? Do you have anything? You put...
I put my Lasiodora Itubune into my intermediate. The one I have has an attitude. I've seen a couple other ones on YouTube have attitudes. So they've showed me that. Watch my video after you're done watching. You'll see Itty Bitty Busey, my Lasiodora Itubune, just bolt around the tank after I dropped a small mealworm in there for him. And it's just, just kind of a beast. But the Lasiodores are beastly. Like, my 2 Parahibanas are very skittish as well, too. So...
I like Lasiodores. I see them all the time on beginner lists. Lasiodora Parahibana on beginner lists all the time. I think it's a little more of an intermediate just because of the fact, one, its size to get to. You have to be ready for that.
Like 8 inches, I think, 8 to 9 inches.
Yeah,
that's. I was always told that the Lasiodora is. I can't think of the word, but if you want a Goliath bird eater, you want the large 12-inch T, but you're terrified. They always say jump to the Lasiodora Paribana. It gets really big, it gets really beautiful, and it's a lot less work when it comes to keeping humidity, depth, and all that stuff.
They're pretty simple to keep. They're just the size you gotta worry about. The hairs are a little worse. If it bites you, it's going to hurt no matter what because it's got giant fangs just because it's big. So I put a little more to the intermediate personally. I don't think it's hard to care for. If you want to start with it, I wouldn't anyway criticize that even as a beginner.
I would suggest if you're going to start the Lasiodora Paribana, get a bigger one. There's nothing like sitting around going, "Hey, you want to see my large spider?" And then you pull out this big 5 to 8 inch spider. People go, "Oh, that's awesome." So always go for a large one. I always say that if you go for your first tarantula, get a big one. Because there ain't nothing like showing somebody you have this massive spider. Kind of makes you badass.
Yeah. I love it for that. Brazilian. All right.
Brazilians are the Lasiodora. A lot of the non-Dews are Brazilians, so they like their moisture.
What do you consider... well, my Brazilian... I kept my Brazilians on, over water... he was fine. He wasn't massively needing a lot of humidity, so it wasn't as bad as the you get into the Sturmy, you get into the P. Blondie, and they're death quick if they don't have humidity.
Yeah, they need the humidity.
Yeah. What about non-dew chromatus? That's another one I see a lot on.
I throw that between intermediate and advanced because of the attitudes a lot of them have. Big, fast, brutal. I'm not saying aggressive, but defensive. Yeah. Spook one, it's gonna fly. I throw that a little higher in the intermediates than dead center. I personally don't suggest to get one. If you want to get a non-dew, go for the Tripepi, go for the Colorado Velocious. The Colorado Velocious still skittish, but not as bolty or as jumpy as the Chromatus. So far, my Tripepi is only so big, so it does bolt a bit, but not too much.
Okay. By the way, Edward Tittle says that the best beginner him is the Gramsol Pulchra. I do not disagree with that. Other than the fact
I don't disagree either. That's a good Grammostola to start with.
The price is what would knock it off the top list for me. $100 for a saloon, $200 for an adult makes it kind of hard for a beginner, the entry level thing. But as far as care, every other standard, it hits perfectly on that list. I agree completely. Okay. So, non-dew chromatus, I would put that intermediate just because of the fact that it's large, and like I said, it feeds. And when it feeds, it has, it goes for it. It's the kind of one
it's brutal.
If you try tongue feed, it's the one that will try to climb up the tongs and eat your hand. You have to be ready for it to do that. But
Yeah, they're brutal. I like them though. They're brutal. I picked up my Colorado Velocis as a Chromatus, and it turned out to be a Colorado Velocis. But I'm glad it was a Colorado Velocis.
Okay.
I've enjoyed her.
throwing it to the chat, intermediate species. What do you think? Intermediate species is in there, firmly an intermediate species. What else out there is extremely popular that would fall under intermediate that you should do your research before you get it? The Nandoos I know are very big eaters. Lasiodorses are skittish, large, good eaters.
Formictopus.
I can't even spell Formictopus. Well, give me one of those.
Oh God. Cancerides. Oh, I see. I'm horrible with the common names. Like a purple bloom or a pink bloom, I believe. I would consider those a good intermediate. They're beautiful. They're big. They're fast. They can be really brutal.
I'll tell you what, guys. Do not fall in love with these pictures because these are all the males. The this is the Pamphobedia species I put. The purple blue tarantula is the Pamphobedia species.
Pamphobedia is another good genus in there. I think I got the common name mixed with the Pamphobedia and the Formictopus, I think. Like I said, I'm not very good with the common names.
Okay. Okay, so we have... This is a beautiful one, but unfortunately the female is ugly brown, like this over here. And the male
the chicken
is
spider?
Beautiful. Ugly, beautiful, ugly, beautiful.
And that's weird. I think it's weird when you see a tarantula male looks much better than the tarantula female. It's like, oh,
yeah, it's so rare.
I hope I get the male then.
It's so rare, but it's the coolest purple spider that I know of it here. Okay, what's the Cancerides? Anybody know the name or want to throw the spelling in there for me, and I will search it up because I don't even.
Common name on that one. Oh, I'm lost on that one.
Anybody can give me that because I don't even want to try to spell that.
Edward.
Take that out of the chat. So okay.
Oh. Chicken spider. I don't remember the scientific name for the chicken spider, but that one always seems to be a really good one. I'd say another good intermediate one. It can be really brutal. I don't know if I should.
But I've never seen one.
Can I drop a name or a channel right now? Is that all right?
Oh, I don't give a crap. I don't.
Off the tongs challenge between Mark's tarantulas and Tom's big spiders. You will see a chicken spider, I believe, on Mark's channel. Mark's tarantulas.
Well, here's Tom's right here. Finally, a chicken spider. Here's his thumbnail with his chicken spider on it in the images. Okay, I got Cancerides, P. Cancerides. Thank you, Edward, for giving me that. Okay. These also do the purple, obviously. P. Cancerides. There's a purple sheen. Those are pretty cool. P. Cancerides. That's a Haitian brown. There we go.
That's it. The Haitian brown.
There's the
intermediate, I'd say. High intermediate.
Any other?
For me, at least.
Oh, here's an intermediate. I think that people put as beginner. I don't think it is. Green bottle blue.
I honestly put that between beginner and intermediate. I love the green bottle blues. I have not had a problem with the one I had except for the death. Unbelievable architects.
Yeah.
Unbelievable architects. Keep about an inch of substrate and put tall things. I had flowers. I took flowers from Michael's, the silk ones, and I put multiple, like an 8-inch, or not an 8-inch, but a 5-inch, a 2-inch, and an inch with the small stems underneath them, you know. And man, the webbing and tunneling that my green bottle blue did was gorgeous. Yeah. And that's another reason why I got into this hobby, is because they are unbelievable architects, and what they know from the genes that are passed from their mother and father to them, and it just keeps going. They just are unbelievable creatures.
Okay. Karen West has a not on topic question, but it's a very important one. She's just he or she whatever, that's whatever. I just dropped a roach nymph that slipped into the burrow of my some Sazame.
Ooh.
That is a very shitty position. Now I realize she's on her back molting. Do I try to get her or leave it in? Help. I think it's just leave it. Like
if you can see the roach and you have a set of tongs long enough to reach in there, snatch it up.
If you can get it without bothering the tarantula, don't bother.
Right. Don't try not to touch the tarantula. Try not to. Like I say, if you can see it and it's easy access with the pair of tongs, snatch that son of a bitch up. Because they will start munching on that tarantula.
See, I've never had a roach, really. Most roaches just avoid them, and they're not really... Crickets...
I've had crickets do it.
Crickets are nasty little things. If it was a cricket, I would tell you, dig that out and get it out right now. Crickets will eat the tarantula. Roaches...
I don't like crickets.
Roaches usually do not as much. Either do... if you dropped like a mealworm or superworm, they will. Definitely.
They will, yes.
If you cannot get to a roach... I would let it go for now, but I would watch it.
Yeah.
I would sit there and watch it, and then it eventually will come where you can grab it. If it goes near your tarantula, then you can do something about it.
Yeah.
But if it's a roach, I would sit and watch. I mean, it's a sling. It's probably going to molt within an hour if it's already on its back. Just watch. You can watch it anyways.
Yeah.
If it gets near it, you can do something. I wouldn't risk upsetting the molt.
By the way, the Peace Esme is very beautiful. I got one of my very own, and she is gorgeous. That blue is... They remind me of a Brachypelma vagans, but blue.
Okay, well, we hit our hour much faster than I thought, but I do want to get over go over a couple of advanced species. Okay, it's too deep right now, but I'll drop a piece of orange in and try to lure it out. Yeah, if throw a piece of orange on top, it'll probably come up and start eating. Grab it. That's a good idea.
Yep.
Just keep an eye on your tarantula. Just sit and watch it. No, I'm not saying it won't do it, Edward. I agree with you, but the risk of upsetting it if you can't get to it anyways. If you're gonna dig everything out, you're gonna completely upset it, and you may lose the tarantula anyways because you finish up the molt. It may not be able to molt. So I would just sit. If you could see the tarantula, now if it's down a hole and I can't see anything, but you said you seen it flip, so you can watch the tarantula. If the roach goes near it, do something about it. But watch it. If you don't have the time to sit and watch it, then I would go dig it out and take my time, take the drought slowly, get it out, and then leave the tarantula to rebuild his home later.
I actually like the idea of putting a little piece of orange at the top of the mouth hole. That was actually a really interesting idea.
It will probably come back up, but definitely keep an eye on the tea. Don't leave it alone. I'm not telling you to leave it alone. They will eat it. They can kill your tarantula while it's molting. But digging it out as a sling, if you interrupt the molt, it may stop and you may get stuck in the molt and you lose the sling anyway. Slings are so delicate.
Yeah.
So it's like that little 50-50 of it could eat it, but I could kill it myself. Okay, let's get into some of the advanced things. The first one I'm going to put right out there because it's such an easy thing to get is the tea sturmy.
Yes.
Everybody
very easy.
Spelled that wrong. I still got it. Tea sturmies are your tea blondies. So it is the Burgundy Goliath Bird Eater. These are common things at shows. Either one of them, the Burgundy, the Goliath, or what's the other one? The Goliath, Pinto Goliath, the Therophos Alpha Pelosum, or something. What's the other one?
It starts with the A.
I can't remember. They are all very advanced. Okay, they are large, so you have to be able to deal with a massive spider. You have to be able to deal with the humidity. You have to be able to deal with the hairs, because the hairs on them are way worse than anybody else's. You can actually become allergic to them over time. And the humidity on them is so picky that if you screw it up, you're going to lose them.
Right, they'll either drown or dry out.
Yeah. Like, I had an issue, I just posted mine up, and it had a shrunken abdomen. We thought it was all kinds of things. It was just dehydrated. I put water in it, I re-soaked the whole thing, got really wet. Next day, it pumped right back up and started eating.
Yep.
But it's like that fast. They are so picky. Oh. And if you have
definitely an advanced keeping.
And they're skittish. They're very skittish. They're not very, I haven't heard a lot of them being defensive or aggressive, but they are skittish.
The ones I've seen love to kick hairs too.
Yeah, kick hairs, defensively like that. Yep, everywhere.
I haven't seen a threat posture, so if anybody has a video of a Goliath bird eater or the either the Sturmy or the Blondie throwing up threat posture, I'd love to see that because their fangs are huge.
Okay, I'm going to look up this one since I just got rid of it. We're going to go with another one that Small Tongues I just threw out there. Kiliobrachus, which is one of my favorite genus. Love them. They are nasty little guys. They are.
Yes, I love them.
They tick off every box. They are fast. They are aggressive. They are defensive. They are not handleable. They're not viewable. They tick off every box for advanced.
I love the Kiliobrachys, any of them. I got the Vietnam Blue right now. I believe Mystery is a Fimbriatus, which would be the Indian Violet. I'm huge into tiger tarantulas. Any of the ones that have a common name with the word tiger in it, I love it.
Oh yeah, I love that.
But I'm super comfortable with the Kiliobrachys, but yet I'm not comfortable with the Cirripagopus lividus or the Haplopel. I don't know if it's a C. lividus or lividum. The Cobalt Blue. They've changed that a couple times. I'm not comfortable with those ones, but I'm comfortable with the Haiti or Hottie. However you say it, and I'm very comfortable with the Kiliobrachys.
Cerotigerus darlee, rear horn baboon. I probably said it all wrong. There's another one, very advanced and very common in the hobby.
I feel like that one could be lower in the advanced area. I have a Marshali, the Ceratogus Marshali. I love that thing. Oh god, the webbing it does, the tunnels it does. It's literally lifted the substrate up, and it is gorgeous. And so far, it spends more time in the tunnels than out and about. But I don't say go get that real quick, but I put that more towards the beginning of advanced keepers.
Yeah.
Especially since it's a baboon, too.
It's a baboon, which we love. So, while we're talking baboons...
OBT!
Orange biting thing! One of the prettiest tarantulas you can buy, one of the most common tarantulas you can buy, and one of the, I think, most overly rated how hard it is tarantulas to care for.
I love them. I have 2 OBTs right now. I have one that just turned male, and I'm hoping the other one goes female, which will be a bit before it goes female, if it is. So if anybody out there feels like to do an OBT breeding with me, I would love to send OB1 out. I love them. I love the webbing. I love their actions. I love when they throw themselves back so hard they fall backwards and start crying like a little baby almost, you know, when they get upset. I love it. Personalities are great. I love that. But if you're not ready for something that will instantly throw a threat posture, OBT is probably not for you.
The thing with OBTs is they're scary because they are quick with that threat posture. But the thing with OBTs
and fast.
Is they're fast, but they are extraordinarily defensive. And the thing about being defensive is they sit at their home and they guard it, which makes it extraordinarily easy to rehouse. Everybody's like, oh my god, rehouse OBT. Take the lid off. It's going to sit there and look at you like it wants to kill you. Put the cup over it. Slide the thing under it. Put it in its new home. It's going to stay there. As long as
Pretty much.
The hardest part is, will it stay when you take the cup off? It's going to stay in its home. But when you put in the new one, you know, put the lid on pretty quick.
Because they know they're not in their home no more. They can sense. They still have a sense of smell. So they smell that their scent is not there no more.
But I've never had... Oh, yeah. Spider Woman just got an OBT red phase. I want the black phase one.
Oh, I've seen those. Those are gorgeous. I just want any OBTs. I don't care. I want them all.
I'm all for black tarantulas. I'm a big fan of all the black ones. But OBT, that's one that fits. Like, I think it has such a horrible reputation for something that's not nearly one of the worst tarantulas in the hobby. The orange baboon
It does.
What is its actual name? Because nobody uses it. It's
Pteronotrus mutinus.
Okay. I don't know why that...
And then you got the other one that's a mutirus. One has a T, one doesn't. And I believe the OBT is the mutirus.
So, anybody out there, before we end this, does anybody have anything else they want to throw out there as an advanced species that we should talk about? Other than... Okay, well, let's just put this up here. P.Telica, because we just have to talk about it. Any of the Pulsotheria, Pocotheria, however you want to call them, Metallica, all of them, advanced. They have highly potent venom. They are very fast. They are very skittish. They are a Burrow, which makes them automatically harder to rehouse. Anyways, no terrestrial.
I've noticed on the P Metallicas, you shine a light on them, they'll disappear real quick. Actually, a lot of them. So if you're ready to move your pokey, if you can't cup it or he's taking off on you, flash your light on him and he'll go right back into his home. Or the closest dark spot ever. They love the darkness. They are a very nocturnal species of tarantula.
Here's what I got. I have the
And
P.
genus.
fasciata. that's my one of my biggest tarantulas. I have a. We thought it was.
I wouldn't mind getting an ornata. The fasciata ornata, the vittata, the metallica. Yeah. I wouldn't mind that. And the hemisavu. I'm gonna mess that up. I'll learn to say that, and I'll love to say it because it's a big long one. The hemavasula.
Okay,
whatever.
I have a Lugardi. Lugardi, isn't that which is the Lugardi? I'll go into small town exotics. Is
that Pteronotulus lugardi? I think Pteronotulus. That's a another baboon species. I believe.
Oh yeah, that is it. That's a baboon right there.
That's a gorgeous species too.
It's very gray. If you like gray, yeah.
I like grays. I also like the Ceratojaurus darlingis. I don't have a darlingi no more, but that is definitely another one on my list. I'm huge on orange tarantulas as well. Hence the OBT, the tangerine Philippine.
Okay. Also, oh damn! I just had it in my head. I hate it when somebody just slips your mind. I was just about to say something and it just gone.
That happens.
What else? Oh, I want to talk about these. I'm actually just gonna go up and copy how he spelled it because I'm not even gonna pretend I can spell. Where's small towns? Monotrophus belfori.
Oh God, one of the greatest colony tarantulas ever.
It is
they're so gorgeous.
The only one that will sit communally readily almost every time.
I want to say that there's a Poecilotheria that you can do that with, and then was it the Cameroon baboons?
Cameroon baboons and them can be done, but the chances are still higher of this. It has like a 90% success rate to their like 60 to 70 or something like that. If you want, like take it, just a random guess at it. And just how they act, like you take the other two, you're not going to see them. They hide in the ground, especially the Cameroon red, which I love. Another very advanced species. But they hide. You're not going to see it. These they hide, but you will catch them out. Like, you can see Tom Moran's videos are some of the most amazing things I've ever seen when you watch them, like, tapping on each other, which he thinks is a dominance thing, which very well could be. And
it could be a dominance. It could be a communication thing, too.
Well, it would still be dominance, like, hey, I'm better than you, bigger than you, blah, blah, blah. And the one runs away, because one seems to always run away after. So it always seems kind of like, I'm about to eat you, okay, I'm running away, type of thing. I don't know. Like, but we don't really know what it is, but it's really cool to watch that interaction. Like, it's awesome. But it's a very advanced species. I just brought it up because it's also a very popular one. And if you're trying to rehouse 5 tarantulas that are old world baboons, it's not a simple task. Like, make it look that way. It's not.
Multiple entrances and multiple exits, man. You gotta cover them all up except for one. They're gorgeous though. The blue and white is beautiful. They're gorgeous. Menacentrophus balfouri.
I like them. Okay, here's another one that's become very popular since we're talking about communals. What about Neoholotheliense?
The Neoholothelienses.
Yeah, there you go.
I have 3 of them right now. I had no idea they actually can be kept communal. I won't try it with mine because I don't know if mine came from the same egg sac or not. But that'd be an interesting thing to see as a Neoholotheliense communal. They're gorgeous, just gorgeous.
I know it can be done because Dave, I cannot remember his damn channel. He did it. His all matured up male. Every one of them. Because I asked him how it turned out. So he'll turn out male, but they all lived. But once again, that's when you have to keep in a very tight group, force them not to fight over, to get territory to fight over. They all have to share. But they're beautiful. But they also have a fairly high rate of, supposedly, of living communally. I tried it. I ended up with one that died in a molt like 2 months later. It really sucked because he was beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, I got my three. My three are doing pretty good right now. I got one that's really close to a molt. You know what I wish? I wish that pumpkin patch could be a communal species. That would be awesome. The pumpkin patch, Hapalopus, species Columbia Klein and Columbia Large. To see those in a communal would be awesome, but not sure if they can be.
What would you put them as, intermediate or advanced for that dwarf?
Oh, I'd probably do intermediate, low to mid intermediate. You know, like they're fast. They're really fast, but they're very curious. They're
quick and tiny. So, but they're not hard to care for. I don't think I put them in intermediate because they're.
I right now have a Klein. I moisten the front half of the substrate, and it spends a lot of time in the back half in the tunnels, but it will come out. Check out the moisture. Good feeding responses out of it, even though it's still about the size of a dime. Good feeding responses, and their colors, even at the size of a dime or small, they still have their adult colors. They're gorgeous.
Athena Ascending, why are you asking if I'm going to get a pink zebra beauty? I've had one of these. They are... Okay, by the way, if you want to list the best beginner tarantula, no question about it, this is it. It is the best one. It is the most docile tarantula. You can take it, flip it over, put it on your hand, it will sit there and not flip over. They are just insanely docile. But they are almost impossible to get, so it makes them not... I wouldn't have them on the list.
Yeah, I don't have one. I haven't seen many for sale, if any at all for sale. I'd probably throw that up, and I'd probably throw that in higher beginners. Get a couple and then go on that one.
It's so really good. I'm just kind of, because it's cute. Where did you even find that? You don't even like tarantulas that much. Like, I'm amazed you found that. I want this one. I really do. I had one before I got out of the hobby last time, and I want another one. But they're really hard to get. I can't say the name. It's Campostratus. I can't say the genus though. It's Eupalaestrus. Something. You've had fun trying to figure out how to do that one. It's on this. Anybody can read it on the screen. Also, the Tyndalls are saying goodnight. Good night, Sarah and Edward.
Good night, Sarah and Edward.
We're actually going to end this here. We went through everything we want to talk about. We are over my hour thing because we didn't get to the advanced species. I do want to cover some of them. That's just one you really want to get out there as an advanced species that you want to talk about.
Oh, God.
Is there any really important one that we should talk about? If not, I'm going to say goodnight.
Not that I can think of. No, not really. Okay. Maybe H. maculata, about the only thing I can come up with is for sure high advanced. That and the bird eaters, but no.
Okay, then I'm going to say thank you to Magnus from House of Invertebrates. His link is in the description below, guys. Go and sub his channel. And with that, I'm going to say goodnight. Go ahead and say your goodnight, and I will end the stream.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. This is Mad Max from House of Invertebrates. Peace and happy keeping.
And with that, we end it.